Right now, on to the point. The government shutdown impacting flights.
On Wednesday, air traffic controllers are going to miss their full second payment.
With warning things are about to get worse. The tips tonight ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Plus SNAP benefits reappearing.
I was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress.
Why it follows a legal battle and how to help those in need. PG&E requesting rate hikes. Tonight, the protest and what it could mean for future bills. And later on the show, we hit the back roads, where planes are also like people's cars.
Well, I don't know about you, but I know it's been a long and busy week for me. So thank you so much for joining us on this Friday on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and we're in the longest government shutdown in American history. And now tonight, 38 days later, there is still no end in sight. Tonight, more than 1,000 flights have been canceled across the country due to safety concerns as federal workers call out and look for other ways to make money to pay their bills. This was the view at major airports across the country today. Some travelers are being forced to find other ways of getting to their destinations. And get this, tonight Hertz Car Rental says its one-way rental reservations have jumped more than 20% over the past 2 days compared to last year. Now, as we've been reporting, the FAA has ordered 40 major airports to cancel 4% of their flights. This is a look at the airports that are impacted. As long as the shutdown continues, the number of cancellations is expected to increase to 10% by next Friday. Airlines will likely try to keep their hub-to-hub operations and cut regional flights instead. Tonight, several airlines are letting passengers change their flights for free. The law requires them to issue refunds for cancellations, but stranded passengers could still be on the hook for hotels or meals. So if you are trying to plan travel right now, here's what experts say. So they suggest booking flights directly through the airline. They say that makes it easier to change your flight. They recommend avoiding layovers if possible. And today, the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, suggests to prepare now for those Thanksgiving impacts if the government stays closed, saying that air traffic controllers will miss their second full paycheck in the coming weeks.
On Wednesday, air traffic controllers are going to miss their full second payment. Okay, that's a problem in that a lot of controllers have told me a lot of us can deal with missing one pay period. Almost all of us can't afford to miss two pay periods. And if our great controllers then choose to go take a second job or take a different job, all of a sudden that's going to create way more disruption in the airspace. And then not only we reduce flights by 10%, and we're going to then continue to have these other measures of delays and cancellations.
Here in Sacramento, while SMF is not currently part of the FAA's flight operation limits, people could still see cancellations and delays. This is what it looked like at the airport just earlier today. You are encouraged to check your flight ahead of time before you head to the airport. Tonight, SNAP benefits are starting to appear again for some people. 5.5 million Californians really rely on these benefits known as CalFresh. These benefits essentially ended for people on November 1st. Now, nearly a week later, and after a second court ruling for the USDA to tap into an additional funding pool, California counties and the governor's office say some SNAP recipients are starting to see their full benefits again. As funding reappears, families in San Joaquin County tell us that they are stocking up.
I was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, just didn't know how I was going to make it through the month. And then after I found out, I was able to, stock up a little more for them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, school snacks.
Yesterday, my daughter calls, "What are you going to eat, Mom?" I don't know. You can only eat top ramen so much to get burnt out of that. Now I'm trying to plan for food stamps where I can get it stretched out by quantity, like a meat pack, and stuff like that. See, I'm shopping around on the, internet, see if I can get something like that.
Tonight, the Department of Justice fighting a judge's ruling that would require the Trump administration to fully distribute SNAP benefits. People are encouraged to keep checking their accounts. And during this shutdown, demand keeps growing at food banks. They are in need of monetary donations. And if you are able to help, take a look at your screen right now. ABC 10, Wells Fargo, and the Athletics are teaming up for our annual Stand Against Hunger campaign, raising money for 7 local food banks this holiday season. And get this, in just 1 week, you have helped raise more than $106,000. I just want to say that we are so grateful for your generosity. And if you want more information on how you can help out, make sure you visit abc10.com/standagainsthunger for more information. Tonight, as the government shutdown continues, the pressure is on for Congress to act. President Trump continues to call on the Senate to change its rules, and Democrats are making some concessions on their health care demands. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington tonight.
On day 38 of the government shutdown, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pitching Republicans on what could be a breakthrough proposal. Schumer wants to reopen the government with a one-year extension of the current subsidies tied to the Affordable Care Act, what has been the major sticking point for Democrats.
This is a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with health care affordability, and begins a process of negotiating reforms to the ACA tax credits for the future.
It comes after Senate Majority Leader John Thune called on Democrats to, quote, re-engage.
If I were a Democrat, I would be embarrassed. I mean, flat out embarrassed to walk into this building every day, to walk past the men and women of the Capitol Police who are not getting paid.
President Trump today once again calling on Senate Republicans to end the filibuster rule.
We would be back to work within 10 minutes after that vote took place.
It would allow Republicans to use their simple majority vote to reopen the government without any votes from Democrats. But Republican leadership has been unwilling to do that.
It doesn't make any sense that a Republican would not want to do that.
Republicans have said they would be open to negotiating on extending the subsidies tied to the Affordable Care Act once the government reopens. So now we have to see what they think about Senator Schumer's new proposal. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Our coverage of the shutdown continues on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. And other stories today, what the shutdown means for covered California now that open enrollment is underway. All right, let's turn now to PG&E. They are in the process of asking the state for more rate increases, and today dozens of their customers showed up to protest. The California Public Utilities Commission held 2 meetings this afternoon to give customers a chance to voice their thoughts. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen shares their concerns and a response from PG&E.
We're here today to protest yet another rate hike by PG&E.
Those protesting are PG&E customers and advocacy groups like Environmental Working Group. On Friday, dozens showed up to this California Public Utilities Commission public participation meeting in Fresno.
We need our government, in the form of the Public Utilities Commission, to be the adults in the room and to tell PG&E, no, you can't just keep spending people's money.
PG&E's general rate case application, if approved, would cover 2027 through 2030, and as a cost projection, they're required to file every 4 years. The company forecasts its revenue requirements will increase 8% from 2026 to 2027, followed by 3 yearly increases of 6.1%. PG&E notes the price difference in your bill would increase a maximum of 3.6% in 2027, and people can expect bills to decrease in 2026 because temporary charges will be removed from the rates.
We're going to do a lot of important work that needs to be done, both to modernize the grid in preparation for additional electric vehicles on the road and new business like data centers and additional capacity that's needed. While continuing to do important safety and reliability work for our customers.
Adding that they've worked to stabilize bills for customers.
Customers are paying about $12 less for residential electric service today than they were in January of 2024. Those prices are expected to go down in 2026. In 2027, if this rate case is approved as it was filed, bills would be relatively flat with where they are today.
But as people showed up to the CPUC meeting on Friday, advocates say they're not buying PG&E's reasoning for a rate increase.
We need electricity to be more affordable, and we need the government to work with the people to make sure that electricity becomes more affordable and cleaner and more reliable.
PG&E expects a decision to come in the first quarter of 2027. The CPUC tells ABC 10 it will take all public comments into consideration while making a decision. In Sacramento, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
Examining how the state and utilities are balancing costs, climate, and increasing demand. You can watch California's power struggle, an ABC Weather Team investigation on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. Coming up onto the point, just in time for the busy holiday season, which Starbucks workers are preparing to strike. And it's almost tax season yet again, the big change some people could see next year.
We're heading into the weekend. As you can see, our highs today in the 70s, even warmer.
But first, another headlines tonight. New images after the deadly crash of a UPS plane in Louisville, Kentucky. Drone footage shows the scale of the damage. A half-mile-long area burned in the explosion. The NTSB continues to look through flight data and voice recorders. They say the crew tried to control the plane before it crashed, and it recently had extensive maintenance. FAA records from September show major issues, including a crack in a fuel tank. The crash killed at least 13 people. It's believed 9 people remain missing. Cases of bird flu are rising again. 3.5 million turkeys, chicken, and ducks have been killed by the disease within the last month. The bird flu caused shortages in eggs earlier this year, driving prices at times up to $10. And another local ice rink is opening this weekend. The rink in historic Folsom will have skate sessions every day through the new year. The downtown Sacramento ice rink also opened this week.
Well, there was a lot happening this week, and the same is true for our forecast. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. You're tracking a lot of changes, right?
I certainly am. Yeah, we'll get through that warmer weekend weather, and with some great fall color, a good time to get out and perhaps just take that hike or head out to the park with our urban forests as well as the orchards, really showcasing the fall color right now. Third up on the list, though, is that bigger storm lineup next week. It's likely going to knock down a lot of that color as well. Satellite and radar, we are clear right now. It has been quite the active weather period, especially in extreme northern California. Tonight, with our hourly weather, you can see those light north winds overnight, limiting the low cloudiness that we've been seeing the past couple of mornings. We'll bottom out in the upper 40s, heading our way into the lower 70s. But we'll have that stream of low cloudiness kind of penetrating much of the Central Valley for a short period of time, and then we're right back to the sunny skies. That's going to lead us to above normal temperatures in the low to mid 70s Saturday and Sunday. Morning lows starting off right around 50. Moving on to our long range forecast, the high pressure ridge is going to keep that storm track well to the north of us, but we got a low that's picking up steam in the Pacific. It connects with another low that will move in as we head towards the middle of next week. Likely overnight Wednesday through Thursday, this is going to be a warmer stream of moisture heading our way, which is going to drive up that snow line. It'll come down slightly on the back edge, but in the meantime, we've got some active weather to track next week. This weekend, though, great. Highs are going to be in the 60s with dry conditions, 60s and 70s down low. Across the coast, we've got highs in the 70s, and we'll see those 70s as well. Throughout the entire valley, we'll be in the mid 70s, putting us about 5 degrees above average. Our extended forecast continues to showcase that above average warmth all the way into early next week. We're going to be close to 80 on Monday, and then we'll start to see those temperatures fall. Veterans Day still dry. Highs are going to be in the mid 70s, and then we'll be seeing highs in the 60s as that atmospheric river starts to head our way by the end of next week into the following weekend, Alex.
Thanks, Monica. Still ahead on To The Point, Starbucks workers across the country are preparing to strike next week. Who could be impacted? And then, of course, we hit the back roads where planes are parked outside of homes. Jumping into your price points tonight, the IRS is cutting off an online system, a tax filing system. The agency is shutting down its free offering of Direct File. The Biden administration announced the new online program just last year. Direct File was aimed to help low and moderate income taxpayers file their returns easily. Fewer than 300,000 people used Direct File this year. Unionized Starbucks workers are preparing to strike on Thursday on what's known as Red Cup Day. Starbucks Workers United authorized an open-ended strike after months of talks with Starbucks over staffing, pay, and safety. The union's website shows they are present at locations in Sacramento, Fairfield, and Yuba City. In an online update, Starbucks said in part Workers United walked away from the table, but if they are ready to come back, we are ready to talk. Mount Rose Ski Resort in Tahoe was supposed to open up tomorrow, but opening day is now delayed. The resort says it's seen about 6 inches of fresh snow mid-mountain, but needs to double that for safe and sustainable coverage. They hope to announce a new opening date soon, and we are back right after this quick break. Every Friday on To The Point, we take a trip on the back roads, and you never know what you'll see with Mr. John Bartel. But tonight, he is taking us to Cameron Park, where the morning commute looks a little different than you might expect.
At first glance, this neighborhood in Cameron Park looks like any other suburban community in California. But if you drive down Boeing Road, you'll notice something very different about this neighborhood. Why are there so many planes here on everyone's front lawn?
Because we're spoiled brats and we get to live with our airplane.
This is Air Park, a suburban community built for pilots. Your guys' morning commute, you may just see an airplane in front of you.
Oh, sure, absolutely. There's several people I know that commute to the Bay Area daily.
Julie Clark is one of about 128 homeowners in Air Park, and she's kind of a legend in the aviation community. After becoming one of the first female commercial airline pilots in the U.S., Julie got into aerobatics. 40 years ago, she started the highly successful aerobatics company, Julie Clark's Air Show, and made Air Park her home base.
You sleep with your airplane, basically. not literally, but your hangar. We have hangars attached to our houses or on our property.
Established in the 1960s, Air Park was specifically built for the needs of pilots, including large lots and even larger roads, big enough for planes to taxi to the neighboring airstrip. You have to share the road with the planes, or does the planes have to share the road with the cars?
The planes technically have the right of way here, so.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay. Logan Peterson has called Air Park home for the better part of his life. With some guidance from his dad, the 22-year-old was flying before he was driving, and even got his commercial pilot's license.
He bought a plane about a year before I was born, which was this plane, and then I started flying right when I was born. Started taking lessons at 12 and then got my license at 17.
There's about 100 aircrafts in Air Park, and for the average homeowner, the noise from those aircraft engines can be pretty loud, but not for Carl Gremlich.
You know, it's amazing. People near airports complain about noise. I tell everyone we pay extra for the noise.
Carl's a former Air Force squadron commander who flew B-52s, one of the military's largest bombers, but he moved to Air Park so he could fly his historic Chinese Nanchang Warbird with other like-minded pilots.
But it's really fun, just being able to sit with your airplane, take it out whenever you want, and then come back here and just relax and talk to all the other pilots.
Over at the edge of Air Park's runway is a viewing area where, on any given day, spectators like Ronnie Lee can witness an impromptu air show.
And then I seen 2 planes coming up, flying, 5, 6 planes, and we enjoyed it. It was cool.
Yeah, life at Air Park is cool for both the residents and spectators, but there is a downside. Space for new homeowners is limited, according to realtor Mike Brewer. An Air Park property a little bit more expensive than maybe a normal residential?
I'd say so by maybe 30-35% because the scarcity of the property. You know, we've only got as many homes as we're ever going to have here, except for excluding the lots.
There may be limited space at Air Park, but that doesn't mean pilots don't want visitors. The sound of an unfamiliar aircraft is always welcome.
I'm so funny. The minute I hear something that I know is unique, I come running out because I have to see it. Yeah, and I'm still that way in my old age.
From the Air Park in Cameron Park, California, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
To find more Bartel's Backroads destinations on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app, just go under the Shows tab, scroll down to Travels, and you'll see Bartel's Backroads, and that app is completely free to download to your TV. As always, thank you so much for welcoming us into your home each and every night. If you have something you think me and the team should be looking into, you can always email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great weekend, stay safe, and don't forget to download the app so you can catch up on any news that you might have missed this weekend. I'll see you on Monday.